Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, and this is episode 6 I think of my crafty podcast. So my name's Rachel and I make podcast videos, sometimes tutorials on handcraft items, knitting, crochet, and mainly hand sewing and English paper piecing is my main love. But I am been getting into the swing of knitting and crochet very recently, so I'll be showing you what I've been working on recently, and mainly in this video my purchases. Because since I last spoke to you, I've been on holiday to Berlin with my sister, and there was so many shops to purchase fabric and yarn from. So I bought myself lots of souvenir yarns. I'm just looking at the pile over there. And I also, the last time I spoke to you, I was about to go on a hand dyeing yarn class at River Knits. This is the yarn that I made, so stay tuned to hear all about that. First of all, we'll start off with current works in progress. Now, if you've watched my videos for quite a while, you'll know that I have a lot of whips, but I am trying to just work on a few things, and I've really been enjoying some knitting and crochet. So I've mainly been working on those because I also want to try if I work on one project at a time, am I going to get more done, or will I see more results? So I've been working on those. So let's start with the knitting that I've been working on. Now this is a beautiful handmade project bag that I bought from Etsy. I think it was Lollipop Designs, I think, but if that's wrong I'll put it on the screen. So it's a beautiful Liberty print, and this is one of her small bags. And in here I'm housing my Sophie scarf by Petite Knits. Now this is the yarn that I'm using. It's a yarn cake which I bought from Poland, and I think it was something like Yang yarn or something similar to that. I might have the label. So this is Lang Yarn Quattro, I think it's called, and it's 4-ply, but it is quite a thin 4-ply. No, it's DK, but it is quite a thin DK. It's almost like 4-ply, and it's 100% cotton. The colour is 1088. I think it's made in Italy, so I don't know if it's something that you can buy all across Europe. And again, if you've been watching me for a little bit, you'll know that I'm quite new to knitting, and I really wanted to start knitting socks. So this is getting me one step closer. Look at that beautiful gradient. I just love how the colours fade into one another. Just look at that. The greens. And then I think from here it's going to go back into the peaches. It's more of a peach than an orange. And this is a little box bag that my sister made me, and the cake fit perfectly in there. So I started this when I was in Berlin with my sister, and it is a gift for my sister as well, so I hold nice memories that we was in Berlin together when I was making it. The pattern is really quite easy, and I was a little bit intimidated by the I-cord edge at first when I've seen a lot of people making the pattern, but it's so easy. I just looked online how to do it. There was a few videos on how to do it specifically for this scarf and shawl, and it's turned out brilliant. So I'm really enjoyed doing that. The pattern recommended something like 150-170 meters of yarn, but this cake had just over 200, I think. So I just measured out until I got to the halfway point, and as soon as I got halfway I just started decreasing. So it will be a little bit longer and thicker than the pattern calls for, but it will use up the whole cake. So yeah, I'm happy with that, and I love that bag. So that was my first new cast on. I have also cast on something else. So me and my mum have decided to make a Christmas jumper ready for Christmas. So we've started now. It was also inspired by This Little Wonderful Life, also on YouTube. She started her long-term Christmas knitted jumper. I'm just not confident enough yet in knitting to do a knitted jumper, and so many of the knitted patterns were like colour work, and that's far too advanced for me. But I've only ever made one garment that's not complete in crochet, so I thought, well, still crochet is quite fresh to me. I usually make blankets and square things, so I've decided to make the Snowstorm jumper by Sam Adventures in Crafting. I'm not sure of her surname, her first name is Sam. Now this is multicolours, so you do all of these multicolours. I'll add a picture here on the screen so you can see what hers looks like. But I didn't want the jumper. I don't really wear jumpers. I wanted a cardigan. And she also does this, the Flower Power cardigan. So all I'm going to do is substitute the snowflake design into the Flower Power cardigan, and they're pretty much, the hexagons are pretty much the same size, so the final design will be like that. Now for budget reasons I have just been using Starcraft Special DK, and they're not blocked yet, and so many ends. I've got to do those before I get to anywhere near completion. So I went for a burgundy background colour, and I sort of went for some nice pastels. I haven't bought all of the balls that I've chosen, but you'll get an idea. So there's a green, and I've only done one in the purple. So it will be quite clashy. Me and my mum first agreed we was going to do an ugly Christmas jumper, and I'm not saying this is ugly, this is a beautiful pattern. But you know, Christmas jumpers that I really like, people class as ugly Christmas jumpers, but they're like flamboyant. I really like that for a Christmas jumper, but I did want it to be something that I would wear, not just for Christmas Day, all throughout the month of December. So I went for this design, but my mum has gone for such a sophisticated jumper. She's done me dirty. But no, I do absolutely love this design, otherwise I wouldn't do it. So we've got 6 months to do it. I am optimistic. I need to make 70 hexagons. So that's 14 or 15 in each colour, I think. So that's at least one every other day. And then to give me 1 month for construction, which I think I can do. I've done 2 today. Now my next whip that I've got on the go, I haven't really touched it since maybe 2-3 weeks ago, but it is on my radar and I definitely want to finish it. And this is my Romy cardigan by Manatee Crafts, or Manatee Squares I think it is. I'll cut the video, I'll put it on so you can see what it looks like. So this is how far I've got on the cardigan. I've done the one sleeve, put the cuff on just to cinch it in. It is a drop sleeve. I've added the collar, and I have started on the button band. I've started on the button band, but I've still got to do this this sleeve. But let me see if I can come down. It's just the perfect length for wearing with dresses. It just stops the hair on my narrowest part before I go out. Let's see if I can show you on this side. There we go. So I think it'll be really nice for wearing with dresses. I really like the Holy design because it feels warm but yet cozy. So yeah, I just need to finish adding on the ribbon. The ribbon attaches to the collar, I think. So the collar's not sitting 100% right at the moment because I don't think I've done everything that I need to. And I'm just going to put faux buttons on because this is the cut that I liked. I didn't want it to be all the way closed because I'm quite big anyway. I thought it would just swamp me. And the yarn that I'm using for that is just Hayfield Bonus DK. This is around £2.95 a ball, so I think the whole thing cost me about £15. So you really can't argue with that, can you? I think since I've been on the hand-dyed workshop, I am perhaps maybe converted, but still I like to keep things budget friendly. So to discuss my hand-dyed yarn course now then, so I went to River Knits, which is in Northamptonshire, is that right? Northamptonshire, I think. I get confused, but it was about an hour's drive from me, so I was a bit worried about the drive because I'm not the best driver, but it was perfect to get there. It was an all-day course, and we dyed 2 skeins was included for the price of the course, and I think she does regularly run the courses, but she gives you the option to purchase extra to dye multiple, so I bought 3 skeins. The colourway that I named was Candy Shop, and it's got light pinks, light blues, it's made some purples, pinks and peaches. So I was really happy with that, and it feels really nice. I've got a shawl in mind. I think that will probably only take 2 skeins though to get like a really nice big shawl. Maybe I'll knit a pair of socks with the third, but it doesn't have nylon in, it's just 100% wool, so maybe not the best for socks. So we'll just see how the shawl goes first of all. Don't judge how poorly or messily this one is skeined up. We had to do that ourselves because you brought home the yarn a little bit damp and then you just dried it at home, so I just hung it up to dry at home, and I just need to wait for my sister to be available to help me cake this up so she can hold it out while I wind it on the ball, because I haven't got the money at the moment to purchase one of those wooden things. What are they called? A Swift. I would ideally like to get a Swift because I've got some other skeins here that are going to need caking and I can't ask her to come round all the time. So while I was at River Knit, so she has a small shop on the front and she has like the workshop at the back of the shop. So I purchased, oh sorry I knocked the camera there, a undyed skein. So again this is Blue Faced Leicester, and a beautiful selection of pastel rainbows. So we've got, that's red, not sure why it's coming up, 2 pinky, a nice pink, again Candy Shop vibes, a purple, a green, a nice light blue, and a yellowy orange. So I was initially thinking, those are 20 gram skeins, so I was thinking again maybe a rainbow shawl with a little bit of undyed yarn in the middle. But if you have any recommendations of good patterns, I did see the fragmentation shawl by Stephen West, but I'm not sure if I'm capable of that at the moment. Now, to keep with the theme of yarn purchases, we'll move on to the yarn that I purchased whilst I was in Berlin. So we come across a, well, we didn't come across it, I'd researched it, a yarn shop where they just sold wool based fibres. The reason why I know that is because we was looking for my sister. She's vegan, so she doesn't use anything wool, and she couldn't get any cotton or anything acrylic. They had their own hand-dyed yarn there, which I've purchased, and they had like some commercial really nice yarn, and I also assume they had other dyers that was in there. So I purchased some of her colourways to do again a shawl. I don't know. I don't want 3, well I do want 3 shawls, but I don't think I've either got the quantity to do anything else or like the confidence to do much else. And also I'm bigger, so I need more skeins to fit my body frame. So these are the 2 yarns that I purchased. This beautiful peachy pink, and that's the name of it. I think that's reversed. That's the name of her business. So these lovely tags. So this is Superwash Merino fingering weight. And this one is merino and I think silk. It's in German though, so I might be wrong on that translation. And there's just a nice little gradient in that one. So again, if you have any good pattern ideas, let me know. Oh, so that was from a shop called Knit Knit Berlin, Knit Knit. And then we also went on a little spree of looking for quilting fabric. Now, there was one quilt shop that we had in mind that we went to, and it was amazing. They had so much, but they just didn't have anything that was in my colours, pastels and stuff like that I like to make with. But they had so many earth tones. My sister was in her element, so she purchased from there. There was a second quilt shop, but they were closed for like spring break, so they were closed for the whole month of May, so we couldn't go there. So we went to this, like, maybe it was a chain store. It didn't look like it was an independent store where they had fabric. Again, they didn't have a lot. They had a few colours that I liked that really went together nicely, but there was just 2 or 3, and I didn't feel like I could make a patchwork quilt out of those. I wanted my whole quilt to be made with fabric that I purchased from Berlin, and I just wasn't going to be able to do that. So we went to, in this shop that we suspect was maybe a chain store, I come up with an idea to make a double gauze quilt. I had seen these on Pinterest, so I bought some fabric to make that. Oh, sorry, I've just kicked the tripod. So let me show you what I bought from that shop. But just to go back a few steps, I forgot to show you this. I bought this from Knit Knit Berlin. It might be backwards, but it says stitch, don't kill my vibe. I really liked that, made me laugh. And from this shop that was in the mall, I bought a Arne & Carlos Regier sock yarn. I've never actually seen these in real life, nor have I ever knit a sock, but I do intend to. I really like that colourway. I think I'm going away again next week, me and my partner. It's the last holiday of the year. Last holiday I've had 2, so very, very lucky. So I think I might take socks, and I might watch some videos in the morning while he's snoozing and try and knit by the pool. I don't know. See if I get the confidence. Right, so let me get everything. So for this double gauze quilt, I think I bought 2.5 meters of this lovely blush pink. I'll insert a photo on the screen of the type of quilt that I want to make, and with hands. It's just got hand stitching, big stitching. I bought this fabric for the binding, which goes really, really nicely. Got like a nice pink dot, so that's for the binding. The double gauze will be front and back. And then I also purchased a selection of embroidery flosses in different colours. I think I just bought 4 colours, so those are the 4 colours. So it's a pink, green, yellow and a light pink, and they go really nicely with that and also with the gauze. Now I'm not sure if I just want to do straight running stitch like in the photo that I just shown you, or should I do like a quilting pattern. I was thinking, what's the one where, is it called a fan stitch? I was thinking I might quite like to do that and then do one, change the colours each fan. But I'm not sure, does this pattern lend itself more to just straight big stitch? Let me know if you've ever done a quilt like this. There's a lot of things I've asked you for advice on, so I hope you don't mind. So that's the end of the purchases that I bought from holiday and the wall purchases. If you saw my last video, me and my sister went to a quilt shop that's not far from River Knits actually, and I did a little tour around the shop, and I promised you I'd show you my purchases, so here they are now. I was trying to be very good as we went around the shop. I knew I didn't have any quilts in mind that I wanted to make, so I stayed clear of buying a quilt amount of fabric. but I couldn't resist these Liberty turquoise and like teals, turquoise and teal bundles. Those are fat 8s. And they were almost £16. I also bought it's 3 fat 8s, but it's a bundle. I'll take it out. It's a bundle of fabric and a pattern. Now the pattern makes this bag. It's like a little drawstring bag, and you get 3 different fabrics that they've already bundled together for you. So those are the 3. I think this is the main and these are the linings, or it's the same quantity of all of them, so you could choose which you prefer. And that was £10.50, so I thought it's quite good value really to also include the pattern. Let me just fold that back up, because otherwise I'll lose what the fabric's for. You ever do that? You buy fabric and you forget what you bought it for. That's when you know you've got too much, and that is me. And you know me, I can't resist scraps. Any scraps, any price, I'm there. And this is just a small pack. It says they're mainly 2.5-inch squares, and they were £2.50. There's 2 designs of red and 2 designs of that grey blue colour. I also got this bundle of fabrics. I'm not sure on the line, but it looks as though there's one print or quite a few prints for the whole collection. It's like mermaid and underwater themed, and it's really, really nice. Peaches, light blues, greens, and that was £4 for the whole bag. It's a great way to build your stash. It really is. And while I was there, they had so many quilts and projects on display. So if you haven't watched that video, go back to my previous video. They had a wall hanging of a trip around the world quilt. So I bought some 3/4 inch square paper pieces to recreate that. You get 100 in this packet, and they are actually from Lena Patchwork. I've bought her products before, so there's 100 in there for £3.95. I assume they'd probably be cheaper to get them direct from her, but I can't guarantee that. Yeah, and I didn't also know, so the quilt shop that I went to is called the Bramble Patch. They have a loyalty card. How dangerous. Once you've spent £200, you get a £20 off voucher. So I thought that was quite good, quite good. So that pretty much comes to the end of my video. It was mainly just purchases. So I am so sorry about that if you get influenced or envious. It has been a heavy month on purchases, but that's what happens when you go on holiday. You have to get souvenirs, don't you? And it just so happens the souvenirs I like are yarn and fabric. So thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, stay tuned to see if I do knit socks on holiday. Please keep your fingers crossed, and if you can recommend any beginner videos, then please drop them down below. I think I've purchased some DPNs and also the 9-inch circulars. I think the 9-inch circulars would be my preferred method, but I bought the DPNs in case, like, for the heel you need an extra needle or something. I don't know. But yeah, stay tuned and don't forget to like and subscribe this video. Bye.